Hey, welcome back. I've been trying to make this video for several days with limited success. As a matter of fact, I just got done editing the previous version, looked it over, watched the entire thing, and decided that it sucks. So we're going to do this one more time. And this time, I'm taking off the training wheels. So this is going to be right off the cuff, right from the heart, and hopefully it's going to make some sense as we get into it. Today's video is about when we would turn the windage knob the wrong direction on purpose. Now, a lot of you out there are scratching your heads already saying, why would I turn it the wrong way on purpose? I can't turn it the right way on purpose. Not to worry, videos coming on how to do that. But why would we dial the windage the wrong direction during a match? Let me give you a couple of ideas on why we would do that. But before we start, let's make sure we all are on the same page about what the wrong way is. This first sighter lands a little low, which is not a big deal. That's a matter of a cold barrel. But it lands just a little bit to the left. So I dial in more left windage so that you get this sighter shot number 2 impact location. Both were the same hold at the time of firing. Why would I do that? Now that we've got a conceptualization of what turning the wrong way is, let's talk about a couple of different reasons that you would do it. The first reason that I do this is when I know that the center of the target is going to disappear during my relay. That means whether a pulled target or an electronic target, especially at 300 yards, that center disappears in a heartbeat, in F-open and FTR. So we really don't want to be losing that center and our aim point at the same time. In those cases, I dial out to maybe the number 8 and hold on the number to fire my shots. I can always walk back and forth out there for hold off. With an electronic target, some match directors offset the point of impact away from the center, and that's great. It makes it easier to hold in the center, and I don't offset for those situations. The only caveat here is at 1,000 yards, I have yet to see a target that got shot out in the center during a normal match. All right, let's get into the reason that I did what I did on that 1,000-yard target. This is a matter of visibility of the 10 and X ring. The Mirage can do all kinds of weird things. You can get a total blob and a dancing amoeba out there, but you can get a subtle effect that's a little less than that, where the 10 and X ring being so close together tend to join into a fuzzy gray blob. And it makes it really hard to find the middle of that gray blob, much less 1 ring out, 2 rings out. So what I do in that case is I find a ring that I can see. And normally the 9 ring works really well for this. The advantage to the 9 ring is it's 5 inches to the 10 ring and 5 inches to the 8 ring. So I have aim points that work out really well for inside the 10 ring and X ring. In that case, I'm dialing to the 9 ring and holding out there on that side. There's one more time that you would do this. And I hate to admit doing it, but for you guys, I'll take a chance. There are times when the wind is blowing really hard, and I mean much harder than this, that you will find yourself in a situation where you have to choose between dialing to the max windage in your scope or holding on something other than your target. In my mind, it is better to have some idea of where other targets are in relation to yours and use that target as an aim point in lieu of dialing your windage all the way over to the corner. Now, I've never had a scope that did funny stuff out toward the corner, but I don't see a reason to take that chance either. Worse yet, if you're dialed out there 5, 6, 8 minutes and you forget to dial that out, your first sighter on your next match is going to be a real surprise. So I don't dial a bunch of windage into my guns. I'll put 4, 5, 6 minutes on if necessary during a relay, but then I'm cognizant to turn it back to 0 after the relay's over. Otherwise, if we're going to go a full rotation or more, I shoot at my neighbor's target. Or that neighbor, depending on which way the wind's blowing. When I'm shooting at my neighbor's target, I may have to dial the wrong direction in order to center up on an aim point that I can use on that target. I may have to dial a little more windage in so that I can get over toward the center of the target where there's a good aim point. Now, overly simple, yes. Difficult to convince yourself to do, yes. This is one of those skills that a lot of F-class shooters have, but they don't talk about because we don't see it as abnormal to turn the windage to put our aim point where we want it to be. And that's all we're doing. The windage knob, in my mind, is a convenience knob. It is there to conveniently position your reticle where you want it on the target so that you have a fixed aim point that works for you. And that's the mentality behind a lot of what we do in F-Class. There's no magic to it and there's no right way. Anybody that thinks that they have to do it a certain way because that's the right way is fooling themselves and creating their own problems. So this skill can be the difference between ending up at the top of the results or somewhere in mid-pack under certain circumstances. Yeah, it's for you to figure out when to do it. All right, I hope this was insightful for you. See ya.